Taking the internet by storm in 2016, popular ex-Viners Jake and Logan Paul began their journeys on YouTube, eventually amassing 43.5 million subscribers between the two of them. The brother duo, known for their outrageous ideas and stunts, have basically done it all on the internet. They created diss tracks on one another, held boxing matches against fellow YouTubers, had multiple scandals, became millionaires off of merch sales, and vlogged continuously for a little less than 2 years. The brother built YouTube empires under the names of the Logang and Jake Paulers and pitted fans against each other in a subscriber war. Viewers either love them or hate them, but most people can't deny that together the brothers changed the direction of social media and capitalized on their internet fame.
For our claim, we would say that Jake and Logan Paul gave us some valuable lessons in our society, even if some of them were bad. The brothers helped us to see and understand what some of the underlying themes in white noise are talking about in real life. When comparing them closer together, we see that the underlying themes of white noise also coincide with the themes that showed through the evolution of the Paul brothers. In this presentation, we'll be focusing on reality versus artifice, consumerism and capitalism, and pervasiveness of technology and how all of the things relate to the underlying themes of white noise, while also being shown in the Paul brothers' lives. When diving into each topic that the brothers taught us, we see that their trials, scandals, and fame on YouTube taught us many lessons, many pertaining to the ideas of consumerism, use of technology, pervasiveness, and reality versus artifice. 1. The tension between reality and artifice. Introduction to the Paul brothers and their fighting. Looking back on some of the peaks in both Logan and Jake's careers, we see how much of the fighting, arguments, and overall tension was a ploy to get more money and more views. Although we know this now, and know this is a very common thing, it is hard to tell the difference between reality and artifice in the moment. It's easy to be unsure about what is genuine and what is not. This is used a lot in media to gain more praise and have more people interested. Views are views, and many times people want more fighting and drama. Each brother would make music videos attacking one another, one after the other, and would act like this in real life, too. So it seemed as real as possible. This would get people hooked. Some of these music videos attacking one another were their most viewed on YouTube. Logan Paul's The Fall of Jake Paul was his most viewed video. To make the videos even more interesting, the brothers would include other people in their videos and lives, other YouTubers, for instance. They would make up hurtful lines, some that were only long-time viewers would understand. The tension between reality and artifice. Logang versus Jake Paulers. As the tension rose, the two brothers began to form sides, and as this happened, so did their subscribers and fans. The Logang versus the Jake Paulers started to arise. There were many videos attacking one another, and this was not a short war. The fans became so invested in Jake and Logan's lives that they would watch their daily vlogs and know every single thing about them. As the videos began to heat up, more people joined in and began throwing digs as well. Team 10, a group of Jake's friends, were all in Jake's videos, and Logan also decided to bring in Jake's old girlfriend and a former member of Team 10 and pretend to kiss her. Alyssa Violet, Jake's old friend, also claps back with her own video called It's Every Night Sis. Here we see how the brothers played off this feud and started to advertise different types of merchandise and other things to make the fans very invested. This is where consumerism starts to come into play, which Kaylee will touch on more later. Here are some video examples and videos where Jake and Logan attacked one another, and then the videos they produced that showed them making up. The first two videos put out, It's Everyday Bro and The Fall of Jake Paul, were some of the brothers' most popular videos to date. The tension between reality and artifice, more drama. After the height of the brothers' YouTube career, and these videos began to die down, and the brothers began their career in boxing, which we also did not know if they would take seriously. Jake decided he was going to fight Ben Askren and many more, and Logan decided that he was going to fight a fellow YouTuber, KSI, and Floyd Mayweather, as well as many more. These fights also sprang up drama and helped launch them to even more fame. After their scandals with their YouTube careers, this was a new area which they could thrive in. Some more drama that the brothers were previously involved in that I will just touch on would be Jake getting married to another famous YouTuber, Tana Mojo. Also, Jake was involved in a show made by another YouTuber named Shane Dawson, which was about if Jake was a psychopath or not. This series was called The Mind of Jake Paul. Reality versus artifice in comparison to white noise. As we dive deeper into white noise, it's not hard to tell what is real and what is not. Jack questions everything and often questions the realness within himself and everything around him. Jack himself hides the fact that he can speak German until forced to admit it. Within Jack's studies of Hitler, we soon find out that he does not care much about the history of the man or the culture surrounding him, but he cares more about the man on a personal level and his qualities. We soon realize Jack uses Hitler as a bigger persona to cover up his smaller persona. It's hard to tell what's actually going on in Jack's mind and if it's real life. It's difficult to know also that the Paul brothers, it was difficult for us to know if they were actually fighting at the time or if it was all for their YouTube video releases. Here's a quote from SparkNotes. Throughout the white noise, the authentic and artificial often blur together, and substance seems interchangeable with surface. This confusion between reality represents an essential part of Jack's own existence. The first quote from White Noise in the first event would be, "He told me once that the art of getting ahead in New York was based on learning how to express dissatisfaction in an interesting way. The air was full of rage and complaint. People had no tolerance for your particular hardships unless they knew how to entertain them with it." With this quote from White Noise, we see the theme shining through that people need drama and things to happen to pay attention to other things in other lives. We see this through the Paul brothers when they spark up drama to get more attention and more people. As quoted here in the book, they are saying that to get ahead, you must have an interesting life and some baggage. White Noise quote and event 2. The quote would be, "Because we're suffering from brain fade, we need an occasional catastrophe to break up the incessant bombardment of information." I chose to address this quote because this brings light to the idea of reality versus artifice in certain situations. Brain fade through technology and being told certain things in real life can make it hard to focus. When we are bombarded with certain information like the Paul brothers provided us with, it makes sense that we could not know the difference between real lives and lies. In White Noise, this point is often brought up. Jack often does not believe the toxic event is real. He's just worried about things such as eventual death.
The Paul brothers were one of the first YouTubers to revolutionize their platform by uploading fully edited and crazy daily life vlogs. They attracted more and more fans every day, which they decided to take full advantage of. Both brothers found ways of earning money just by filming daily vlogs. Once a YouTuber gets 1,000 views on a video, they can start to make money off of it. Currently, both brothers have surpassed 5 billion total views, allowing them to make their living just by making YouTube videos. But since they already have so much money, all they wanted to do was increase how much money they earn. Adding to the money they make off of uploading videos, the brothers started to make their own merchandise for their viewers to buy. Their merchandise would strengthen the rivalry their subscribers had between each other. Jake created his Jake Paul merchandise, and Logan created his Maverick brand. Within the first year of creating his Maverick brand, Logan made between $30 to $40 million in sales from his merchandise. His merchandise continued to grow his channel and bring him more income. The brothers had become so successful to the point where they would do anything to make even more money. There was always a competition between the two brothers on who would make more money or who was the more successful one. This stirs up a ton of competition between the two. They both have created fake rivalry to draw in more fans and ultimately hand them more money. The brothers love to use clickbait as titles for their vlogs to help lure more people in and give them more views, which allows them to make more money. Logan Paul posted a vlog named "I Stole Jake Paul's Merch Truck." Logan did not actually steal Jake's merch truck, but he wanted viewers to believe he did, so they would want to watch his vlog more, ultimately earning him more money. The Paul brothers created such a large fan base, amassing over 43 million subscribers combined. Many of these fans wanted to meet them since they had become obsessed with them. Alongside the merchandise they created, their teams began setting up meet and greets where people would pay to meet them at a specific location. They had to get their autographs, take a picture with them, etc. They turned a ton of fans to these meet and greets. Logan Paul specifically held one of the largest meet and greets in the world in Dubai in 2017. Over 11,000 fans came to meet Logan in just that one meet and greet. Jake Paul also had his own meet and greets and even concerts where he would perform the songs he's made over the years, including one of his most popular tracks, "It's Everyday Bro." These events brought the brothers with even more money and fame, which had been their goal from the start. On this side, there's a few examples of videos, including the Paul brothers and other ways they have made money. Shown here is an interview of how Logan made over $3 million just from selling merchandise. The others are vlogs referring to merchandise and their meet and greets. Takes a slightly different approach to consumer culture than explained with the Paul brothers. The Paul brothers are the top of the whole system and are the ones in full control. They gave viewers their daily vlogs to watch, which eventually made them obsessed to the point where they were spending their own money on their merchandise and traveling to meet and greets. The author of White Noise presents consumerism to us through our environment. Many technologies today determine what we do in our lives every day. For example, our phones, radios, televisions, etc. Consumer culture is very toxic and there is no escape from it. It is very manipulated toward people's minds and their behavior. Consumerism is a never-ending cycle, starting by believing that the products you buy dictate your whole identity. When this belief gets into people's heads, they become so obsessed with buying products and completely surround themselves with these items, resulting in being involved with a toxic event for the rest of your life. The author shows the toxicity of consumer culture through Jack Gladney and his family. Jack's fear of death is a prevalent theme in the novel and has caused him much physical and mental harm. To avoid the suffering, Jack, along with many others with the present fear of death, resort to buying products to repress this overpowering fear and provide them with a sense of comfort. An example of this product being bought for comfort in situations where hope is lost is a drug dialer. This drug is believed to erase people's fear of death. Babette is secretly taking this drug throughout the whole novel, but was shown to be ineffective on her. This doesn't stop Jack from wanting to take this drug to help ease him from his anxiety. Dialer can compare any product that he buys, and it's meant to fulfill a person's needs and help comfort them by taking away physical or mental problems. Even if the product like Dialer does not work or barely does, society has manipulated us to continue to buy it and provide us with a sense of hope that it will work and relieve us from our suffering. People have become so desperate and cling on to that last little bit of hope they have, so they believe whatever the media tells them, ultimately making themselves fall more and more into the toxicity of consumerism. The quote I chose was, "They've grown comfortable with their money," I said. They generally believe they're entitled to it. This conviction gives them a kind of red hell. And glow a little. I feel like this quote can compare to the Paul brothers. Both started to create daily vlogs and drew thousands of new viewers to the videos every day. Both Logan and Jake got to the point where they became so obsessed with the money they were bringing in that they became more full of themselves and didn't worry about anyone else around them. They would only focus on earning more money than before and put all their attention on finding more ways to make more. If Logan and Jake did not have their fame and money, they would be your average brothers. The second quote I chose was, "I began to grow in value and self-regard. I filled myself out, found new aspects to myself, located a person I forgot existed. Our images appeared in mirrored columns in glassware and chrome, on TV, monitors, and in security rooms." This quote was spoken by Jack in the novel. He believes that he is not in touch with his own identity and resorts to buying products to create a front that he wants others to see himself as. In this novel, your identity is based off the products you buy and how you show them to the people around you. Jack, along with many other people in society, have been manipulated by the media to the point where they have to buy products in order to define themselves.
The Paul brothers truly changed the world of YouTube by beginning to upload daily life vlogs that would go into full detail of what they had done each and every day. They would plan different events and pranks for each day in order to keep their audience sticking around to watch their outrageous vlogs. Both brothers uploaded consecutive vlogs for over 500 days, where they started in the year 2016 and ended in 2018. These daily vlogs are where Jake Paul adopted his slogan, "It's everyday bro," which soon would become his catchphrase in most of his vlogs, and even went on to be the title of one of his songs. During this time is when the Paul brother channels grew the most, becoming some of the fastest growing channels the YouTube platform has ever seen. Luring in viewers with clickbait titles and bright and colorful thumbnails, the brothers amassed an audience of mostly young children from Generation Z. These titles, taken directly from their YouTube channels, Jake Paul and Logan Paul, ranged from, quote, "fighting off wild kangaroo that broke into our house," parentheses, real footage, parentheses, quote, to, quote, "in the hospital," quote, and the videos would cover everything that happened to the vlogger every day. To give more context on what has been done in these vlogs, the BBC wrote a short summary by reporting, quote, "In recent months, the Los Angeles-based filmmaker has joked about eating detergent pods, posted a video showing himself lifting a fish from a pond to seemingly pump its heart, and his most recent video features a mock fight in which a friend repeatedly punches him in the head before he in turn kicks them several times in the ribs." Uploading vlogs daily meant that both brothers were essentially living their lives online for millions of people to watch. Technology does not get any more pervasive than that. Living life in the public eye also has some drawbacks. The Paul brothers often drew criticism and backlash for some of their more extreme vlogs and stunts. In Jake Paul's career, he has had multiple controversies and even had trouble with the law, which involved the FBI searching his mansion. Other controversies include being fired from his Disney Channel show Bizarre and after his neighbors went public with news that he was terrorizing the neighborhood, declaring to the media that COVID-19 was a hoax, and scamming his young audience with a website called Edfluence. One of Jake's more controversial stunts was that he held a paid live stream for his fans to watch him get married to fellow content creator Tana Mojo. The whole marriage was later proven to be not legally binding, but according to the news publication Insider, quote, From the relationship's inception to the wedding to the breakup, it was worth an estimated $600 million in media value. Quote, in contrast to his brother Jake, Logan Paul had less controversies, but the one scandal he did almost cost him his entire career. On the last day of the year 2017, Logan uploaded a vlog titled, quote, we found a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest, quote, to his channel, which had 15 million subscribers, most of which young children. This title is self-explanatory, and Logan Paul and his gang of other social influencers appear to be cracking jokes about the situation in the remainder of the video, which drew heavy backlash from the entire internet. Both Paul brothers have seen firsthand how exposing it can be to live on the internet. From live streaming one of their own weddings to uploading a vlog about a suicide to share with their massive audience, the Paul brothers have really taken the meaning of pervasive technology to an entirely different level. One of the overarching themes of the book, White Noise, was how technology constantly inserts itself into our lives, even more so in present days. While discussing the concept of death with Jack, Marie says, quote, this is the whole point of technology. It creates an appetite for immortality on the one hand, it threatens universal extinction on the other. Technology is less removed from nature, quote. This quote can apply to present-day situations given how fast and far media can now spread. Seeing what other people may post on social media, such as YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, etc., one may want to live forever to have those same experiences. For example, some Paul brother vlogs would involve them traveling to foreign countries or big cities, showing how they are living their best lives with the money subscribers have given to them. And one of their viewers may hope to do the same thing one day. On the other hand, though, technology does threaten universal extinction with life-threatening trends and the spread of untrue information. A present-day example of this could be the internet trends where teenagers were eating Tide Pods, which Logan Paul had said he would do himself, or the virality of juuling and vaping on the internet, which may lead to serious health consequences. Another thing that should be added would be how Jake Paul tried to convince his fans and followers that COVID-19 was a hoax, even though this disease is very real and has killed 27,000 people and infected millions. Earlier in the story White Noise, Jack is having a conversation with New York emigre Alphonse Stampanato about the effects of television on society when Alphonse suddenly says, quote, for most people, there are only two places in the world, where they live and their TV set. If a thing happens on television, we have every right to find it fascinating, whatever it is, quote. This statement is very true when related to current times. When watching television or the cell phone, humans are always interested in what this media is showing them. Whether it is live television, a YouTube video, or just scrolling through a social media feed, people find themselves entranced by what is being presented to them. That's why so many people watch the Paul brother vlogs every day, because the brothers figured out how to capture the attention of their audience through their style of editing, which would condense whole days into an average of just 20 minutes by only including the most energetic and exciting parts. Using quirky sound effects and visual effects, and the audience would be hooked into watching past vlogs and then tune in for the next vlog posted the next day. Viewers would find the lives of the two millionaires fascinating, as they would see behind the scenes of the Paul brothers' everyday life, and the brothers would preach how their viewers could live the same life if they worked hard enough. The Paul brothers would use their internet influence to keep the audience retention rate high, therefore raking in millions of dollars which they would invest in their future vlogs. The consumption of media today has played an important role in society, and it inserts itself everywhere into our lives. When scrolling through Instagram or watching a YouTube video, advertisements will pop up frequently, intruding as much as they can. The more technologically advanced we become, the more pervasive the technology will become, playing an integral role in our everyday lives.
For our concession, we said to argue against the Paul brothers teaching us valuable lessons in society, one can say that the brothers really did not make that big of an impact on YouTube and were only in it for the money. They were only focused on themselves and did not care about making any impact really at all. It could also be argued that they were not that famous and popular on YouTube to make that big of an impact. But to refute that, it can easily be said, yes, the Paul brothers were in it mostly for the money, but that is literally the whole point of what they taught us. They taught us that to make money in our society today, we must do ridiculous things, cause drama, and make a fool out of ourselves to get the attention of the people. Consumers will feed off of this, and the Paul brothers did just that and furthered this point by doing all of these things just for the money and the glory. We see this in White Noise when the most photographed barn in the world is dramatized even though it's just a regular barn, but when it becomes enormously famous because of its use of pictures. It can also be said that the brothers were not that famous and big on YouTube. When you look at all the years that the brothers were in their prime though, Jake was one of the fastest growing YouTubers and Logan was also very, very high up. Every person on YouTube in this time frame somewhat had an idea of Jake and Logan Paul just from the sheer amount of drama they had caused, which makes a huge impact on all the developments around them.
The Paul brothers have taught the world the pros and cons of living your life online. By creating illusions of fake internet beef and YouTube drama, the brothers were able to farm views to make fortunes. After establishing an audience, the brothers then dove into the clothing industry by creating their own merchandise brands that hardcore fans could wear to show their support. This idea alone also probably brought in millions for the internet duo. Finally, the brothers have also shown the bad parts of putting their entire lives online due to having all of their controversies spread like wildfire to millions of people. Love them or hate them, the Paul brothers changed the game of social media and internet influence, forever setting the standard for future content creators.